Hey everybody, this is Ray from One Crit Blunders. This is going to be a short one. I just wanted to do a little test and see if this actually broadcasted to Facebook and YouTube. One Crit Wonders was just not too long ago, just a thought. It wasn't even a fully formed thought, but so much momentum so quickly with all of the players that I have Jeremy, Rachel, Amanda, Dave, and Joe that it almost formed in the matter of a couple weeks. And we went with many, many different types of names and we tried all kinds of different stuff. What ended up happening and really kind of sticking out to us is the play on the term one hit wonder. And that's how we came up with one crit blunders, meaning um, a crit in Dungeons and Dragons is a natural 20 or a natural 1 on a 20-sided die. Natural 20 means phenomenal. That's the best you can possibly get. 1 is the exact opposite. So it's kind of a play on rolling a 1, basically. And if you watch the first episode, the tone is definitely set for that. Rolls all night were simply atrocious, which inevitably led to just phenomenal story, and the characters are amazing. Unfortunately, some of the players couldn't join tonight, so we are going to be doing this again tomorrow. And I know that at least Joe will be here, and Joe is our oddball in that he doesn't have a Dungeons and Dragons podcast or any kind of tabletop RPG podcast. He is a director and producer for Steam House Entertainment out of Modesto, California. And for those of you keeping track, yes, Modesto, where George Lucas is from. Now, Joe, I've played games with him before, and we'll get into that more tomorrow. But he usually has these characters that start off pretty serious and then spiral out of control into the most insane, chaotic thing that I can possibly imagine. And so I really hope that goes that way with this game. But we'll talk about Solon tomorrow, and we'll talk to Joe tomorrow. Hopefully, I can get some of the other players on. I will also be doing Shattered Dungeons tomorrow, which starts at 9:30, and we're on Twitch TV. If you haven't gotten on Facebook to follow me under the Leo Effects, which is my interview podcast, go to Facebook, type in the Leo Effects. I have a page for myself personally and my podcast page. Follow along with both of them, and I will be posting tomorrow when we will be going live and the link to our Twitch TV. You can join in there and you can roll in the chat, and Dave will use the rolls to try and kill us off. And most of the time, it leads to some pretty funny things. So if you want to hear me making a complete arse out of myself and trying to do the most terrible voice acting possible, go check that out. You will not miss. You not want to miss a thing on that one. Now, to One Crit Blunders, I've been putting some thought to the game in that I want it to be an open world game where there is a story and there is a narrative. The players are fully encouraged to follow along with that if they really want to. But if they choose that they want to go do something else altogether, they can. It's completely fine. And as a testament to that, because who doesn't like a good sticky tab? I have, yes, I don't write this in the computer. This is all handwritten stuff. All of these are the different types of settlements within the world. We've got the dwarf and the elf, halfling, gnome, so on and so forth. And each town falls within those parameters. So as the players are going through the world, I can reference those notes, and there's NPCs, there's different quests, side quests, all manner of things that the players can do there. Beyond that, if they decide that they want to go more of a ranger or druid route, maybe even like a barbarian route, and they just want to explore. Hey, I want to go check out that jungle. I want to go look at that desert. I have this lovely book, which has jungle, forest, desert, and temples. Ooh, ruins and temples. That's right. If you have seen the world map that is on our page, One Crit Blunders on Facebook, you will see our world map. And I created that using a program. I had to lay down each tree, each mountain, everything on there was hand done. I named everything. It's all what they call homebrew. This is something that I came up with out of my own mind. And it's crazy the amount that I put into this when all it was just a thought. But to be completely honest, this was all character driven. I wanted a world where the players were the central focus. They are kind of the only heroes right now. And even then, they're not even really heroes. They're just kind of haphazardly making their way through terrible decisions over and over and over. But moving on, one more book, bam, I've got this good stuff: artifacts, crafting, NPC names and charts, and secrets. There are some things within the world that are not on the map, but they are on the map. And should the players accidentally stumble across them within their travels, that's where the secrets tab come in, and I'm able to just throw whatever I want into the world. I can create my own monsters. I can just do whatever. And a lot of times there's going to be magical items involved or other powerful artifacts that may or may not be known, if that makes any sense to you. Just things that I've created on a whim. Now, I really hope that the players will be able to explore most of the world. A lot of times people focus on that story, and it is a good story. And once they complete it, that's it, it's completed. They can still run around in the world, but it's nice to have an overarching story. It's completely up to them, though. I'm just here to narrate where they are adding the information. They're providing me with something to give feedback, basically. Now, going into the entirety, one of the ideas that we have kicked around is the world itself is not just this one place of Saldoros. It is a multitude of islands. It's a bunch of larger islands that are all near each other. And one of the ideas that we had kicked around was that each island is a different game system. And we're talking about possibly having the other players, should we go to one of those other islands, they would become the DM, affording me the chance to play, and it would be a completely different gaming system. So you might see all manner of tabletop RPGs. Chiefly, we're looking at Shattered Dawn, which is Dave's brainchild. It's an RPG that he actually created, and I believe it's shattereddawn.com. You can buy the core rule book, character sheets, maps, the expansion books. You know, if you remember second edition Dungeons and Dragons, how they had the splat books. These are more like settings. You can run around in this crazy place called the Azure, and that's where we are right now. And oh man, that place is nuts, and the monsters within that game are out of control. You can't even fathom the crazy stuff that they created for us to fight in that game. We're also talking about Numenera and possibly VTM, Vampire the Masquerade, things like that. The sky's the limit, really. So, if any of you have a system that you want to hear or see us do, by all means, let us know. and we can try and make that happen. It's completely possible. And we're definitely going to attempt to make this the most entertaining thing that anybody can do, really. Anthony, I thank you. That is another thing. The Leo effects made it within the top 50 of to listen to podcasts globally in 2020. So, that's awesome. It's a huge accomplishment. I definitely want to say thank you to all the fans who checked that out. I feel like there's a lot of crossover between the Leo effects and One Crit Blunders, Shattered Dungeons, all those. There's a lot of crossover there, and I honestly couldn't have done any of that without you wonderful fans. I do it for you guys. Like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't do it anymore. Let's be honest. I have a blast providing you guys with these cool interviews, and Jimmy Star provides some of the best guests that I've had to talk to. And, there's quite the list. If you go to the Leo Effects on anchor.fm, you can check it out there. I've recently switched to YouTube, so I am on there as well. Just the Leo Effects, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. If you just go to Google, um, type in the Leo Effects, and it's going to pop up. So, yeah, you guys have been great. I see that this is working on Facebook, so that means that tomorrow is going to be fantastic. I'll have another player here to kind of pick his brain about Selwyn, the Paladin of Tyr. That's what it was. The Paladin of Tyr, who is the god of justice. Within 5th edition, most people know Tyr as the maimed god from the Norse mythos, and within D&D, he's considered an interloper god. He is the only Norse god to exist within the Faerunian pantheon. So, should a character from a Norse pantheon, come over into a Faerun kind of area, they would draw their power from Tyr should they be of Tyr. It goes tons of different names, but he basically lost his hand to the wolf Fenrir, as the mythos goes. So, anyway, Joe is trying to become a paladin. I don't want to give too much away. I want him to talk about his character tomorrow. And we're going to talk about his previous character and how they are different. His previous character was a wizard named Melwid, and he managed to con a water genie into being his loyal servant. So if that's any indication of how crazy his characters get, we'll see how this one goes. But anyway, thank you all very much for sticking around for this test. I really appreciate you all checking it out. I got to learn how to check my Facebook a little bit better while broadcasting, so I don't keep looking down at my phone like, oh, look at it. I'm trying to watch for messages. I'm trying to watch on Get Vocal, which is where I will be broadcasting from again tomorrow. It has a chat room like window on there, so if you want to get on and you want to talk on the chat room about anything, you can talk about the Leo effects. You can talk about this. You can tell me about your experiences with a 5th edition game or any other tabletop RPG, some of your more uh, funny moments, maybe some of your blunderous moments, and throw in some thoughts like, hey, Ray, what I would really like to see in a 5th edition game is this. Also, last point of fact is this next session on the 27th, we will be joined by Jason Simpson from The Dragon Prince on Netflix. He played Lord Viren, one of the main antagonists, which, if you've watched the show, you know who he is. He was also in Sausage Party, My Little Pony. He's just been in so many different things, and he wants to learn how to start doing tabletop RPGs. He did a little one-shotty thing I did before when I tried my hand at DMing in the Shattered Dungeons, which is on YouTube. You can go watch all of our Arc 1 stuff. I came in kind of mid arc in Arc 1. And then after that, I did a 4-part miniseries, which had a huge twist ending, blew everybody's minds. I think they were a little bit mad. Probably won't let me story tell ever again. But yeah, so anyway, the point of fact I'm getting to here is that from now on, each episode is going to have a guest voice actor, um, professional, amateur, novice, but not just voice actors. I'm also reaching out to entertainers, singers, just regular actors. I mean, movie actors, short movie actor, anybody who wants to lend a voice and be on camera and just be a crazy character for me for one episode. You can jump on here and you can let me know, and I will try to get you booked up. Right now, we're already booked up all the way out until June of next year. So you can pretty much count on episodes up until then. We're going to keep this train running until we run out of steam. And, the more engagement we get, the longer it'll go. So thank you all very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night. I believe it's probably going to be about the same time, maybe an hour earlier. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Make sure to follow the Leo effects, because that's where you're going to get all your updates for One Crit Wonders. If you go to the One Crit Wonders page, you will also get updates. I will post on there what time we're going live and doing this again. And as I said, we will have Joe here to talk about his hopeful Paladin of Tyr. Thank you all very much, and we will see you tomorrow.